$25 goals in the past 6 games for Arsenal, and just 7, I repeat, just 7 shots on target. This team is world class right now. The best performing team in the title race. They are keeping the pressure upon Liverpool and Manchester City. The set pieces are absolutely impeccable. The football is liquid gold. And what a response after performing so poorly against Porto midweek. The world and his dog watching, the overreaction really to what was a really poor game, what was a really poor way to lose, but the reaction to that, laying down the marker, continuing to score in such a free-flowing fashion, the fast-paced football, the relentlessness, the press of this Arsenal team all round. At this moment in time, the form they are in, this is a world-class Premier League team we are viewing here in Arsenal. Title contenders, as we've known they were going to be all season. They are now sitting there with the best goal difference in the league. They've got the best defense in the league, and they've closed that gap, as you can see. Yes, they sit in third, but there's very little difference between the teams, between Liverpool in first and Arsenal right now. We're going to the last 12 games of the campaign. We know this is going to be an absolutely amazing title race, but with City struggling right now, with City just about getting over the line, with Liverpool, a little scoring goals, but looking a little bit shaky when it comes to teams counter-attacking against them. I understand why Arsenal fans feel that they have a very, very strong chance indeed of winning this Premier League title. And I agree. I think they have a good chance that is growing each and every single week. But it was another breathtaking performance. As a neutral watching, what we're seeing now from Arsenal is everything I expected in the second half of this season. They're almost letting the leash off. They are putting every single ounce of energy they have into the game, pushing themselves to the limit, and demonstrating why for the past 2 years they've grown into a title contending team, demonstrating why they're so ferocious, so much fear from rivals when it comes to this side. And when you break down the individual performances today, my man of the match, I want to go straight to, I thought Jorginho, what did £12 million he cost Arsenal? An absolutely scintillating display in the middle. He was great against Liverpool, and I felt he should have maybe been used a little bit more in recent games, especially midweek against Porto, but he was outstanding, and he's ball from deep that broke the lines and set Martinelli off for the cutback for Kai Havertz's goal, the second for Arsenal. I almost felt that killed the tie off at that moment in time, and that pass was just majestic, cultured, so well timed, and the vision was absolutely brilliant. And what I liked in that goal was something we didn't see from the Arsenal players on Wednesday, was the wide players coming inside, almost giving the opponent something to think about. And Trippier was all at sea because do I go with my man? Do I stay here? What do I do? And that kind of variety to Arsenal's play gave them so much potency in their attack today. Of course, Saka, 7 goals in his last 5 Premier League games. He was criticised this season a lot, rightfully at many times, but this man is a world-class talent. There is no debate. There is no doubt about it in my mind. He's a world-class talent. Everybody has a different definition of world-class. He's now doing it. He's now starting to deliver in title races, and he's doing it against Man City and against Liverpool, 2 of the very best teams the Premier League has seen, under Klopp and under Pep, respectively. And that's 7, as I say, in his last 5 games. His goal today was absolutely delicious, and it was another very good performance from him on that right-hand side. And I'm sure Gooners everywhere will be hoping the same from him and Martinelli in a few weeks' time when Porto come to the Emirates. Declan Rice, listen, always quality. Absolutely always quality, no matter what's going on. Every single game this season, I think he's been great. But his delivery from corners and set pieces, I don't think very many people thought he had that in his locker, but he does. And his ability to deliver great balls into the box is nothing short of sensational. And I know that we've had some debates on the terrace before where people think that crossing balls into the box or set pieces shouldn't really be stats, that it's spamming, it's Hollywood balls. This has and always will be utter nonsense. If you're good at crossing the ball, that should be nothing at any point that's taken away. That is an attribute. Crossing, corner taking ability. And if his deliveries were not so good, Arsenal wouldn't be scoring. I know they've scored a lot all season, but that's 19 goals now from set pieces. But Declan Rice's delivery is such an important part. You then add that into Declan Rice's overarching performances. What I keep saying it, £100+ million, he's cheap. He really is. Defensively again today, a masterclass from Arsenal. Yes, a consolation goal conceded at the end, which will be disappointing. But as I stated at the top, just 7 shots on target conceded in their last 5 games. I think it's 10 in their last 6. I want to make people understand how ridiculous that statistic is. And it's one of the reasons why that's the one area of Arsenal's game. The goals are now coming that I think they have an advantage in over Liverpool and City. It's the lack of opportunities they give their opponents in games. Now they're scoring more goals. I think that it's protruding even more how good this defensive setup that Mikel Arteta has created at Arsenal. And it's that defensive setup which I look at as to why I think they're a world-class team right now. The goals are just the sort of cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake, but it's that strength, that work out of possession, which is great, which brings me on to another player in today's game. And I paid homage and praised Lee Gunn of this a few weeks ago, and I never like to steal other people's thoughts as best I can. And he changed my mind about something a while back, that big games are not always big games just because it's Arsenal, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, etc. Big games are sometimes decided by the situation. And you lose the way you did to Porto midweek. Liverpool win that same night and go 5 points ahead of you. City narrowly win their game in hand. City narrowly win a couple of hours before you kick off. And you find yourself 4 and 5 points off the top, up against a Newcastle team that you've had a little bit of elbow with this year. And Martin Odegaard again today stepped up. Some of his creativity, some of his passing, his ability to break the lines was majestic. The way he pirouettes on the ball, the way he glides, it's like he's on ice. It's like watching somebody ice skate at times. It's majestic. But what I really loved about Odegaard today was his off-the-ball work. The way he pressed, the way he won back possession. He was relentless in that. And it's another big game. And that's where, again, I don't want to steal Lee Gunn's thoughts. It's him that put that in my mind. He's right. And it's another big game now that Martin Odegaard has turned up and delivered. So whenever you get people say, when does Odegaard deliver? Just like last week, just like this week, you bookmark those games. Arsenal have been going up second or last when it comes to the 3 teams in the 3 main teams in the title race. And they've delivered, and they've delivered, and they've delivered. And I think that deserves nothing but praise. But overarching, as I say, it was a ridiculously good performance today from Arsenal, again in the league. Far cry from what we saw in the UCL earlier on in the week. And I'm sure when that second leg takes place at the Emirates Stadium, there'll be much more of what was demonstrated this evening. I want to get your views. I want to get your opinions in the comments section below. If you haven't hit the like button yet, why? Make sure you're giving that a smash for us. But I just want to end my sort of opening by saying this. Liverpool, we know, are fantastic. We absolutely know, and they're in this title race, they're top of the league, and they're almost my favourites. City are not playing well right now. They're leaking opportunities, but they have the wear and tear, the experience, the know-how, and world-class talent from their manager right through to their bench. You know they're going to be there until the end, and they're still marginally my favourites. But I believe the form of this Arsenal team right now puts them into a world-class category. I'm jealous as hell of how ridiculously good this Arsenal team are becoming, and I still don't think that you have found your top level yet. I still think this Arsenal team can get better with more experience, the manager gaining experience, and 2 or 3 more signings. Still, the difference between all 3 of these teams this season is crazy. But I do think right now, and I'm basing this on everything we've seen this season, plus the current form and trajectory, Arsenal are the best team in the league right now. on form, goals scored, lack of conceding. Now, they need, to a degree, some favours. They need some other teams to take points off City and Liverpool. They also, by the way, go away to the Etihad and can beat them there. So they need a little bit, like a minuscule amount of fortune to go their way. But if Arsenal keep this up, they have a tremendous chance of winning the league. But one thing's for sure, and this will irk rivals. The reason it doesn't irk me is because I've come to terms with it. And people can come at me with their ad hominem attacks all they want. And if you don't know what an ad hominem attack is, research it. You're going to attack me as opposed to the points I'm making because you have no argument. Arsenal fans will want to win the league, absolutely. But this Arsenal team is dangerous and it's scary and it is here to stay. They're not going anywhere after this season. They're going to be competing for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years minimum, in my humble opinion. What we're seeing from them right now is ridiculous. And another stat that got brought up by TNT Sports was this. They're the first team ever in top-flight English football history to score 2 goals per half for 7 consecutive halves of football. Now, that may not mean a lot to anybody, but just think about how many great teams have been in England from the 50s right through till now. And in 7 consecutive halves of football, no team's ever scored twice in each of those halves. It's a crazy statistic. And also winning 6-0, 5-0, 4-0 is as rare as rocking horse shit. I want your thoughts and I want your feelings below on another top-class performance from Arsenal. Going to go to the super chats that are coming through here. Terry, please talk about who? About something defensively naive. Arsenal are, I think you mean Newcastle maybe. Arsenal are because they have up a goal today. The next Arsenal hate narrative. Oh, okay. Like defensively naive they are because they gave a goal up. Yeah, you'll get a little bit of, listen, rivals and the media will go very, very quiet tonight when it comes to Arsenal. Trust me. Incoming rival noise. It's only Newcastle. So what? Do you think the Porto game woke them up? Maybe there was a bit of a reaction, but this is what Arsenal have been doing for weeks now in the Premier League. And I don't think the only difference in my humble, there's a few changes. Rice on corners, Kivior not inverting versus Ben White inverting. But I think this is more about the players playing at a faster pace, pressing harder for longer in games, and using up more energy in matches, which I think they were reluctant to do as much in the first half of the season. And that's because you've got to pace yourself. And I still can't believe that that's not being spoken about more in the mainstream, considering the amount of times, the amount of books I've read from champions that have won all the major trophies talk about having to pace yourself. Yeah, that's not being discussed in the mainstream media. Very strange to me. Back to world class after one game. This fan base. Well, I'm not an Arsenal fan, and if you listen to my video, I've said right now they're world class. They're a world class Premier League team right now. Della Spurs, 100%. You can't deny it. The records they're breaking: 7 shots on target against them in 5 games. How is that not world class form, my friend? Definitely smash the like button, my friend, and everybody else that's watching. Thank you. 7,200 people watching. We should be getting 3,500 likes right this second. Let's get that done, my people. Newcastle were terrible today. Admit it, Tell. Newcastle weren't terrible today. I suppose they were from a Newcastle fan's perspective. Arsenal were just top-notch. Arsenal were top-notch. They absolutely were. And why am I saying that? Because this game followed the same pattern as we've seen in the last 6. That's an Arsenal situation. Odegaard is so crucial. In possession, out of possession, fit every game. Touch wood. Yeah, like his availability is probably his best ability. Saka's very, very similar as well. And again, this is the thing with Arsenal, that there is the need for another prolific person up front. I think that's fair. But what they were missing earlier on in the season is, Odegaard weren't coming up with the goals as much, and Saka and Martinelli were off the boil from putting the ball in the back of the net compared to last year. Now they've started scoring again. It's all become background noise. Terry, as usual, I'm buzzing. Come on, you gooners. Arsenal fans should be. Arsenal fans should be. And like the last 3 or 4 games, Arsenal have entertained all of us. Like today's been a hard watch for me. I watched Man United Fulham to begin with, which was terrible. The City game weren't much better, really. And today's been the only bit of football entertainment we've had in the Prem that I've watched. Remember when they said Newcastle will take over Arsenal? That was said. Arsenal can't fool me. Glorified. Hashtag bridesmaid is what Meta Navigator has got to say here. Siri also correct. Make me seem illiterate. I have heard City can go a half season unbeaten, and this Arsenal team can replicate that. I don't see them losing a game even against City. Look, if Arsenal perform like this in the next 4, 5, 6 Premier League games, it's going to be hard for anyone to beat them. Anybody to beat them. The defensive strength, the speed of play, it's impeccable. You cannot get away from that. It's about maintaining it up here. And do you know what's interesting? I stand by what me and Sava and Mo debated 3 or 4 weeks ago. Arsenal, of course, there's a part. Listen, as a Goonie, you're going to want Liverpool and City to keep losing games. And if they keep losing games, you'll get a really big lead over them, and it won't be bottled, and you won't lose it. But I feel like right now, you're better off just being on the shoulder. You maybe want those points to be dropped by those teams in the last 2, 3, 4 games. Although that'll be more nerve-wracking because you've got to wait till right up until the edge. But, sometimes a team can score too early against a big side. If a team scores against City in the opening 20 minutes, City, so long left to go, City will come back. Where they score in the last 20 minutes, last 10 minutes, they might be able to hold on. I think there's an element of that with Arsenal still where maybe you don't want the lead and to be the front runners just yet. Stay on the shoulder of your opponents. Maybe. I could be wrong. Just so I view it as an outsider. I heard that TNT stat too, Terry, but Terry, I hate those stats because football gods don't like it and they make you pay. No, the football gods don't mind the stats. They don't like arrogance coming with it. The football gods despise arrogance. That's what it is. Pride before the fall, tempting fate. Stating a fact would never... I know it's not... I was about to say stating a fact never offends anybody. That's not true with human beings. The football gods are not human beings, though, so you'll be all right. Human beings are often triggered by facts. Lots of human beings are triggered by facts. Kai Havertz has 6 goals now. He might end up with 10 plus at the end. Time to start putting respect and admitting we were wrong. Look, I think some people will never change in their view on his technical ability. But look at this way. A lot of Arsenal fans said, where are the goals that Xhaka scored last year going to come from? Kai Havertz will score more goals than him this year. Declan Rice is pretty close to matching the same number. So I'm not sure if Arsenal scored more goals now than they have at this stage last season either. Let's just check this. So we're 26 games in. Let's go back to last season. I love this about the website. You can go back and check the game weeks. They scored 62 goals right now. 26 games into last. Yeah, that's crazy. Arsenal have actually now scored 3 more goals this season and conceded 2 less than they did last year. They did have 63 points versus 58 this year, but it is a different season. But they scored more goals than last year and conceded less than last year. Who'd have thunk it? I like Arsenal being the hunter instead of the hunted. Yeah, that's a much more concise way of saying what I was trying to get out of my big fat mouth. But I think there's an element of hunting these teams down and just... When I was younger, I used to do a bit of I wanted to be a sprinter, but I was never fast enough. I was quick, but never quick enough to be a sprinter. But I love doing athletics and things. And then I started doing some middle distance and long distance running. I was better at that. And whenever I was in the lead, I'd always run too hard and run out of gas and never finish in the positions I wanted to. So my dad just said to me, stay on the shoulder of the leader. And if he's running at a pace that's too quick for you, you'll fall back anyway. But just stay on the pace of the leader and see what happens. And I started doing that, and I started finishing in much better positions. I found it easier to be slightly behind the leader and then at the end try and spring my attack. Sometimes you can't help it because if Liverpool and City start losing games and you keep winning, you'll go ahead of them. But I just think this is a nice place for Arsenal to sit, personally. Look, going to bring my panel up now. We've got Strasbourg Steve, we've got SAAD, we've got Jason, we've got Matt coming on to the show with us now as well. Welcome back, gentlemen. I'm going to go to SAAD first of all. A massive response, a huge response after what was a disappointing night in the Champions League. Talk to us.
I'm gassed. I am gassed. I'm over the moon. Listen, I had a weird feeling going into this game. I had a weird feeling that we were gonna lose today. I don't know. It was a gut feeling. Thank God I'm never trusting my gut again. Never trusting my gut again. I'm never going with that feeling ever again. I think the team, this is exactly what we wanted from that win, from that loss to Porto. This is exactly what I wanted. I wanted them to come back out. I wanted them to show that that did not affect them at all. Yeah, did not affect them at all. For me, I think Jorginho today was amazing. I think Odegaard was amazing. Declan Rice, amazing. Saka, brilliant. Even Havertz was having a very good game. Which listen, you don't get to say that very much or a lot of times, man. But yeah, defensively we were brilliant today, and I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy. I can't say enough about this team, man. For them to show the mental strength to come back from a loss in Europe and to beat Newcastle 4-1. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. And listen, big up to Steve. Big up to Steve. But bro, I can't lie. Me and every single Arsenal fan on the panel right now, and every single Arsenal fan in the damn chat, I know you guys were loving it when you saw Bruno Guimaraes on the floor, bro. I know you, man, were loving it, bro. Bruno Guimaraes, that cheat, the absolute cheat, bro. Yeah, I love to see him on the floor like that. Yeah, putting off his boot and taking it off. He's like, bro, when he took off his boot, I guarantee he was thinking, bro, we are getting pammed this game. So
yeah.
he can hold that. He can hold that. But listen, I think from the boys today, it was absolutely brilliant. I think we played them off the park. I am absolutely gassed about this win. But let's keep our feet on the ground because this is a title race. Yeah. So we have to keep on going. We have to keep on looking forward, looking at the next game. We've got Sheffield next. So we need to keep on looking forward. But I'm happy for today, Tel.
Yeah, you certainly have to keep looking forward. I wanted to ask you about the performance of your captain today, Odegaard, because the way he pressed from the front, winning back of the ball, just another majestic performance from him.
Yeah, 100%. And listen, he is there, man. He performs since that Dubai break, and actually no, before that, I'd say since the Liverpool game away, something has changed with Odegaard. Because before the Liverpool game away, when we went to Anfield, he wasn't himself. He wasn't himself. He was disappearing in games, this and that. Wasn't shooting, wasn't passing well. Now he's in games. He's involved. He's dropping deep. He's involved in every aspect of games. And I am so gassed with what he's got coming in this season, man. Because yes, he may not have as many goals as he did last season, but if you just see the way he plays in games, the way he affects the team, how he's involved in nearly everything we do, whether it's defensively or offensively, because even today he was getting tackles in. He was retrieving the ball back. I love that. I love that from Odegaard. I need more of that from him, man. I love Martin Odegaard, man. I'm so gassed that we got him. And the fact that we got this guy, I think it was, how much was it? 45 million that we got him for? Bro, absolutely, yeah. Was it 45 million?
35 million or
35 million, an absolute steal. Thank you very much, Real Madrid. I tip my head to you because you know what? That's brilliant. I'm so gassed we got this guy on our team, bro. 35 million for a player that can come out and put performances like that. Absolutely on fire today, Odegaard, man.
It absolutely is. Matt, what did you make of Arsenal's response to midweek today? A lot of pressure, the media kind of going in. It just felt like they picked up where they left off in the West Ham and Burnley games.
Yeah, so it reminded me when we lost to Lons, I think it was 2-1, and then we played City, and then we kind of just changed that bar. And I just thought that first half was so good. I didn't expect that half at all. We were playing so on the front foot. I think there was a couple of times like Saliba was playing as a DM. Like it was that high up we were playing that Saliba was basically a midfielder. I just thought from start to finish we pretty much controlled it, apart from right at the end where we, slipped up and conceded. But I did think that came because we took off our main players as rest, and that's kind of what happens when your bench players kind of come on. They're not up to speed as our main team, but overall, fantastic game for Arsenal. I want to give a big shout out to Kivior and to Kai Havertz. Kivior at left back, this guy might keep out Zinchenko. The way he's playing, he's getting a goal or an assist every game pretty much, and he's just playing so well. So I think Tomiyasu and Zinchenko could have a fight on their hands, and that's what we like as Arsenal fans. We want that squad depth, pretty much fight. Like friendly battle, pretty much. And I thought Kai Havertz today, bro, he's showing everyone up. He's showing a lot of Arsenal fans that, he's not what he was at Chelsea. He can play in midfield and play well. He can play at striker and play well. This guy has got 6 goals now. And I think in all competition, I think he's got.
When you say showing everybody up, what do you mean by that?
Like, he's just proving everyone wrong. Like, that his 65 price tag is not being spoken about. Not much, really. I mean, if you look at Declan Rice, that 105 million price tag weren't being spoken about in match game 5. And now Kai Havertz is slowly shutting his haters up. And I'm liking what I've seen from Kai Havertz. He's a very versatile player, and he's a very physical player as well as smart.
I disagree with that slightly. Listen, I know that Havertz has had a good game today. I'm not even trying to hate on the guy. It's just still a lot of chances being missed. You know what I mean? I understand that he's having a few good games, a few good performances where he's, winning interceptions, doing this and doing that. But the only thing is, I need some sort of a clinical edge. Do you know what I mean? I need him to be more goals, when he gets in that position. Yeah, when he gets in that position and he's one-on-one with the keeper, I'm looking for a 65 million pound player to finish that shot, bro. You can't be missing from there. I expect Eddie Nketiah to miss from there. Yeah, I expect for these guys that are lower budget or free to miss from there. But bro, like Kai Havertz, yes, he's had good games. I don't think he's really paid us back for the 65 million pound yet. You know what I mean? Unless he scores a Champions League winning goal or something for us, I'll pay it.
You can't say he's had a few good games though. He has probably played well. Like,
just a quick one.
I think almost maybe 30%.
Just a quick one on Kai Havertz. I think the way a lot of fans look at him is a bit flawed in a way where the price tag comes into play. And I was one of many that wasn't a fan of the signing. However, I've come to understand that he's not going to be the star striker at Arsenal. He's not here to be a star man. He's there to be a Swiss Army knife in terms of you use him for different roles in different games and different, as the manager needs for different tactical setups. And we've seen that throughout the season. He's been used as a second striker. He's been used as a midfielder. He's been used as a false nine and a hold up to long play and play it up to him. So he's not the man that's coming to revolutionise attack. Unfortunately, with the price, there's always going to be that expectation that comes with it.
Yeah. No,
I just think he's there to kind of like give you variety and fill different gaps and plug different holes within the team when need be.
Do you guys sort of, I always feel like this with certain players. When players are signed now, everyone looks at what they do in their first year as, they're 65 million, what they've done. Well, you got to spread that cost over the whole time they're at your club, and then you have to reassess it. People tend to look at all the space of 1 year. In terms of, we're going to have some super chats in a minute, but I wanted to get Steve's view on the game. Obviously, as a Newcastle fan, not a great night for you. Was this a case of you guys being poor, or were Arsenal just too hot to handle?
I mean, it's a mix of both. I said 4-1. We can't defend. Midfield 3 of Guimaraes, Longstaff, and Miley doesn't work at all. We did one good thing in the first half in midfield. One good action, we'll say. The pass from Miley, which, of course, Almiron screwed up. Typical Almiron fashion, really. So, Arsenal are streets ahead of us. Like, that's not even a debate. It's not even and we're in terrible form. So it was always going to be a 4-1 thrashing. Like, I said in the WhatsApp group chat too, I said game over after 1-0, because these guys that we're playing are levels, clearly. Didn't play well against Porto, but this isn't that game. This is Newcastle. So I knew it was game over after 1-0. Oh, why are you giving up so easy? I know these guys don't stand on business. I know what these guys are about. They're not serious, and Arsenal are. That's the difference. You can say the injuries, you can say the manager and all this stuff. Like, we're not at your level. And you guys are playing well in the Premier League and smacking up teams. And then a team with a terrible defense comes in. I'll execute like professionals with some outstanding performances and a great team performance. This was always going to happen. Always. So, look, fair play to you guys. You got your revenge and all that stuff. It was always gonna happen. You could replay the game 10 times and it's gonna be the same outcome, same score, same goals, all this stuff. Like, we're just not that good. And you guys,
Steve, what's happened to Almiron? Because last season
what happened?
Purple patch, bro.
It's a purple patch. It's a purple patch. Sometimes shit players, Richarlison, scores goals. Havertz. I don't rate him. No, I don't rate Havertz. He's scoring goals though and having some good games. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in 5 years he'll be a remarkable signing for you guys. I don't think he's a good player. I wouldn't have paid 65 for him. But he was he was better than all of our players on the pitch. So what does that say about us? So I could keep going on and on, but
you know what, Steve? I have to say this one thing. I still admire Isaac, bro.
I can't believe Eddie Howe. Why did Eddie Howe bring him off?
We got him pick up on Tuesday. I don't know, but who can? Honestly,
maybe, yeah.
Maybe he just come back from injury. I swear he's just come back from injury.
Yeah, he has just come back from injury.
Okay, fair enough. That makes sense.
He's the player for me that when I looked at him going, whenever he got the ball, that's when I was worried in the game. I was like, "Oh,
really? You were worried? You were worried in that game?"
Really? But it makes me say, okay, let me sit up for a second. Let me see what he's gonna do because he's a player that can get a goal, bro. He's the one who has that.
It helps if you give him service too. That's a crazy part.
No, of course. Deniz, welcome back to the show, mate. Much better than midweek, but your league form right now is absolutely world class. You must have just been blown away with what you saw today.
Yeah, really pleasing for me. I think most pleasing thing, bounce back from midweek, man, because it was disappointing. No shots on target, terrible. In my eyes, bad performance. I know you'll say we had the ball, but did nothing with it. And I also have a knack for when losing a game, dropping points again. So I really want to see a real good response. And for me, we got that today. From minute one, with Arsenal, I don't know if it's just you guys, but I can tell from about 4 or 5 minutes in if we're going to win the game or not. You can tell by the intensity, when the crowd were up for it, the players were up for it. The way we pressed and suffocated them from minute one was superb. I mean, we had a corner after like a minute through just pressure, getting on the ball. Newcastle didn't really know what hit them, to be honest. So for me, superb from Arsenal. Got the goals as well. Attacked them from all sorts of areas. For me as well, Martinelli's goal. Not Martinelli's goal, sorry. The way he assisted Havertz. That for me was one of the best goals I've seen this season just because someone made the run off the ball. How many times do I see Arsenal players be static? I talk about low blocks are hard to break down. It's hard to break down when you don't make runs. Too many times we're too static, I feel like. But that run from Martinelli, just making a run in behind and Jorginho having basically the eye to spot him out and the technique to play that ball in behind as well. Brilliant for me. Rice again. I said it from the start of the season. This brother is a great number 6, but we bought him to be a number 8. We did not buy him to be a replacement for Partey or to play at number 6 position. He is a Xhaka replacement because what he gives you is he gives you an athlete in midfield. Rice has got those go-go gadget legs where he just steals the ball from the opposition. Whenever you pass the ball in midfield, Rice is like a magnet to that football. He just steals it straight from the Newcastle players. That's any team that does that as well. But when he's as a number 6, he can't do it as often because he's worried about, if I go forward, I'm leaving a gap at the back. But if he's got a DM in there, he knows he can make those runs in behind. He's got the ability to then steal the ball from the opposition, get on the counter-attack quickly. So for me, overall, fantastic performance. Loved it. You can say we conceded the goal. A lot of Arsenal fans will be annoyed we didn't get a clean sheet. For me, it's one of those things. It was a great goal by Willock. You could say that Gabriel shouldn't have allowed him to make the overlap. Reece Nelson should have overlapped. Should have stopped the overlap. But for me, that's less part of it. We conceded the goal. It happens. We had clean sheets in our last 2 Premier League games. Main thing is bounce back from Porto, get the win. Games coming thick and fast now, and we're the most informed team out of the 3, in my opinion, in Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. We're the most informed in terms of Premier League form right now. We're playing well, defense is firing, attacks on form. Long may it continue. That's the main thing.
You are, and look, Jorginho is excellent today again next to Declan Rice. And is that something you want to see Arteta maybe explore a little bit more, because it was brilliant against Liverpool, worked brilliantly again today. Maybe in the game against Porto in a few weeks, the game at the Etihad if Partey is not available. Is that what you think Arteta should go with?
Well, I think that's what he wants to go with. Like, I genuinely think from the start of this season, he wanted to play Rice in that number 8 position. Now, Jorginho's done very well in 2 performances I've seen him play in recent weeks against Liverpool and against, obviously, today against Newcastle, because the brother's a professional. He doesn't let his emotions swing up super high or super low. If he's on the pitch, he does his job. He knows what his strengths are. Jorginho is not a Vieira, a Partey, a Roy Keane type vibe where he's going to body everyone, get around, run everywhere. That's not his game. He understands his game is, give me the football, let me dictate the flow of the game, a metronome in there. So with him being in there and Rice next to him, Rice is the legs. Rice is the brother to just run everywhere, the athlete, and Jorginho is the calming presence. So for me, it works. Now, I wouldn't lie to you. If Partey's back fit, Partey starts over Jorginho because he gives you legs, plus he's got the ball playing ability. We're missing that from Partey a little bit, but he gives you best of both worlds. But until that time comes, I'm more than happy Jorginho playing. But the thing with Jorginho is you have to manage him. The brother is 31, 32. You can say we'll play him every game. He's playing well. He can't play in every game purely because he ain't got the legs to. I'm hearing reports he has to get basically injections to play because he's reaching the end of his career. Whether we like it or not, that's just how it is. So in the big games, we have to play with Rice and another holding midfielder. But in most games, you can survive, man. We beat Burnley, we beat West Ham playing just Rice in there. But for the big moments, I think for me, you have to have Jorginho or Partey, but just basically someone next to Rice in there.
Today he was for me, yeah. Just on Jorginho quickly, bro. The fact that he was going for headers, and this guy was slide tackling all over the place, bro. I was like, bro, is he back to his youngster days?
He's gone up a lot in everybody's estimations after the way he was avoiding the marriage questions. I only saw that clip on Twitter. I'm not going to watch the shows. I don't watch TV like that, but it was making. I'll leave this hand free. It will stay 3. I was like, oh, you avoided that well. You avoided it well. What is that TV show, by the way? I've seen Mahrez and I've seen James Tarkowski as well. Are they all part of the same thing? Is it like
Married to the Game?
Ah, right. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't really watch reality shows like that. I might just check it out because
Love Island. I don't know.
No, it's not Love Island. It's something else there.
No,
Defensively, I want to pose a question to Jason to begin with. Defensively, yes, you conceded today, but in your last 5 games, just 7 shots on target. What is making Arsenal so strong defensively, in your opinion?
Both Gabriel and Saliba are getting back into form. The likes of Kivior, he feels a bit. I feel like, I feel like prior to the form itself, before the West Ham game, I felt like, I think Arteta's kind of like, I feel like the players were overcoached. But ever since that West Ham game, I felt like everyone's playing their own game. Everyone feels relaxed. Kivior, basically, in particular, has kind of gained form. It's going to be he's either scoring or assisting per game. And I feel like defensively, like he has been solid as well. He's one of those ones where Arteta's not letting him invert. He's one of them. He's playing as an actual left back itself. Like there's no inverted things there. And also Gabriel, fair play to him. Like he's been stepping up over the recent games. One of the best centre backs. I personally feel like Gabriel is so underrated as a centre back.
I think he's been your player of the season.
He's been
he's been your most consistent individual player.
As much as I rate Saliba so highly, I love Saliba, but I feel like Gabriel is a bit. I feel like he's slightly better in terms of like his physical presence. He's a
nice problem to have. I mean, neither of my center backs can defend right now. I mean,
every partnership.
Fabian Schär for some of the goals was just standing there like he was doing nothing. Botman, I think, has been in poor form too. Y'all got a great problem. Which Lamborghini is the most shiny? It's crazy.
I think every partnership has that. No, it's like every centre back partnership has one that's the more composed, and that's Saliba. Has one that's a bit more physical, and that's Gabriel. Every partnership has it. Tottenham have the same thing with Van der Ven and Romero. You look at every partnership for history, they have one defender that's a bit more, he's up for the fight, going to be
Rio
a bit more.
Vidic.
then Saliba's the calming presence.
You know what it is? You know what it is like, with Saliba, right? With Saliba, like, no one really talks about him. I feel like I'm pretty sure you guys never talk about him over the last couple of games, even though we did perform well, but it's because he's doing his job constantly. Like, but it's just Gabriel. He kind of stands. He kind of stood out in most of the games itself. He added goals to his game this season as well, especially in the turn of the year. Like, literally, he was involved in the first goal as well, and also especially in that Crystal Palace game, he scored one. He basically created that own goal as well. Like, it's looking good. Good cop, bad cop.
I think as well. With attackers, it's good attackers because they score goals and the goals stand out in games. Because you've got such a strong midfield, so you're not leaking lots of opportunities, and they're just doing such a good job. You go through the game without, other than, well, you notice them because they're kind of scoring goals, both of them, especially Gabriel, but you're just not noticing what they're doing. And to a large degree, that shows they're doing a really good job. You almost, quality defenders, if your team's really good and your defenders are really good, you go through large periods where you don't notice them. If your defenders are having to make great tackles all the time, that tells you that you've got a problem within your team to a certain degree. So I think how strong you are as a team also takes away from how good they are, because it's not being, they are doing stuff, but it's minimalistic in a game. It isn't time and time again. Although I don't think they're easy to beat. I don't think they're easy to take on. But it's not happening so much in games. No one's really talking about it. I don't know if that makes any sense. But
Terry, I have a perfect example. Oh, sorry, go.
No. The only thing I just wanted to say quickly though, Tel, is, and this is what I've said about like Man City centre backs, yeah, like the Diaz and John Stones, and the reason why we rate them so highly, yeah, is because the fact that a centre back hasn't got much to do all game, but when he's called upon, he's still able to automatically bang. You know what I mean? When he's called upon, he will perform. So those centre backs actually I rate even higher than the ones that are constantly getting, because you're constantly in the game. You're constantly.
I totally agree. It's why, because most defensive stats that people would use, the defenders in the middle or bottom of the table often have more clearances, more tackles, more head, because the ball's going into the box more. But I agree, the best goalkeepers, the best centre backs you ever come across, they could be inactive for 30 minutes and then bang, they're again. There's no attribute of physicality or ability in that for me is concentration. That's all about concentration and being able to keep yourself in a position where you're alert at all times. And yeah, you two have got a great pair in there. And I think with Gabriel last year, he had a lot of like bozo moments. A lot of games you still won, but he'd lose the ball in silly areas. He's just gone up a level this year. And I know he doesn't get the first goal today, but his ability to score goals from corners is ridiculous. It's almost it's only been 1 year. It's like John Terry-esque. That man used to score ridiculous amounts of goals.
Sergio Ramos, man.
And every time, Terry, like when you look back at history, you always have centre halves that contribute key goals and key moments and help you along the way. And
Steve Bruce, baby.
Oh, don't say that name.
And if we are to be successful, we're gonna need Gabriel and the likes of Saliba to pop up with goals and key moments. And it's nice to see us be very productive in that way. And what I mean, I think we need to shout out Nicholas Jova, because since we've come back from Dubai, I mean, just even the masterstroke of putting Declan Rice on set pieces for the in-swinger, and taking Trossard and Martinelli off. And
nice.
The quality of deliveries have just been insane. And even the movement, the way in which we're able to find spaces and attack the ball, it's quality, and it just gives us a threat. Like it instills fear. It's like a mental kind of torture.
Hold on,
as well. I think
sorry, Steve. Just on Steve Bruce for you. Best goal scoring season he had as a centre back. It's mad. He got 19 goals. Steve Bruce. He was actually a world class centre back, but scored 114 goals in his career as a centre back.
Which Dutch centre back? Was it De Boer? Wasn't it De Boer Koeman, who also scored like a hell of a lot of goals as centre back? Ronald Koeman and De Boer. Didn't they also score?
Maybe they may have done. Yeah, there's a few centre backs out there scored a lot of goals. I've got some super chats I want to fly to here. The first one says, "Hi Terry, how do you get on the panel?" There's a link pinned to the live comment section, my friend, if you want to jump on. Luke here says, "Come on, you gooners." Kevin, long time no see, brother. He says, "I think with Martin He's just healthier with a system change, but he's been good. We still need to keep our powder dry. Good performance, though. Thank you, Tevin. This here says Tommy, Timber, Zinni, Jesus, and Partey all coming back. I mean, that's obviously a massive. Yeah, I mean, depends on the form they come back in with, but
Also,
you know,
injuries, they come back, someone else gets injured. So I hear that thing. Like injuries think, oh, this player's coming back. In 3 weeks' time, God forbid Saliba gets injured. Then do you get what I mean? I don't like knock wood, it doesn't happen, but this whole thing, this player's coming back. I love hearing that. But we've been saying that, and with Partey, we've been saying that for weeks now, bro. The guy's back. It's all full
Partey coming back, or what are they called? Oasis reforming. Like that rumor's been flying around for a while.
January, bro. Like I'm sick and tired of this, man. Honestly,
Okay, I agree. They like facts, not arrogance, but the idiots on Twitter will become arrogant and the football gods will make us pay. I'll tell you this now as well. Me and the football gods are on the same wavelength. If you're an account that doesn't use their real name or face, the football god don't care. Like they're just trolls. They can't be taken seriously. They're not real people. The people that tweet like that behind those accounts, they're not like that in real life. For a long time, for us Arsenal fans, the question was, can we bounce back from tough L's? Recent times have shown we can. Let's continue and enjoy the W, is what Manny says. This is an interesting stat here. Partey and Xhaka last season, 17 GA combined. Rice and Kai Havertz this season so far, 17 GA combined.
That's impressive.
Well, I think it's also another little thumb in the eye to the Arsenal naysayers. I'm like, how are we going to replace the goals? Because they'll stop talking about that now that it's been done. But they said it wouldn't happen, and consistency. Steve, what happened to your defenders? That was bad.
Just forgot how to defend. Like no, it just doesn't help when Fabian this happened the Luton game. This happened the Bournemouth game. This happened Spurs away. Sometimes he just stands there. Like he has no self-awareness, and it's ridiculous. Like Fabian Schär sometimes, like he just does these stupid things. Like it's I don't get it. Botman's been poor too. Like that first goal is a great move, and like credit to you guys. Y'all played that so well. You sucked in all of my men. Pause to the back post, and Havertz crashed the box and reaped the rewards out of that. So it's like. Yeah, they're falling for tricks. They're falling for your tricks. So
look, do you want Eddie Howe to still stay as manager?
What?
Eddie Howe, are you still behind the manager? With the way
if he gets sacked tomorrow, if he gets sacked tomorrow, what can he say? Like, what can he say that like, oh, I should still be in the job? Like, no, but you can't say that to other Newcastle fans. Apparently, he's beyond criticism. No, he's not doing as good a job. He's not doing as good a job as I think he could. If he gets fired, this pro football. This isn't cupcakes and unicorns, bro.
Look at the price of some Man United players and has less goals.
Like Anthony.
Less goals.
I think that's when we were talking about Kai Havertz and the price.
Yeah, listen, listen. Yeah, I don't want to talk about my club, but thank you for the super chat. And the next one's actually from a Man United fan. He says, "I wish Man United played like this. Ineos, please buy Saka, Odegaard, Saliba, and Gabriel. I hate to say it, but I'd also have Arteta at United as well."
That's like $1 billion right there, bro.
I was watching the game, honestly, and I was sitting there and I'm like, so as I've got older, when I was younger, my jealousy always came out in anger. Now my jealousy, I'm able to channel it in praise, if that makes sense. And it actually is far more cathartic. But I do watch Arsenal and just think, I'm so jealous. Just how you play. Like, obviously, I'd rather be in City's position where I've won all those trophies right now. But I just look at Arsenal. And the reason why I think I'm jealous is because I've seen you guys be in the mud. And now I feel like you're about to do something amazing. And it's, I'm so envious. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm so envious. You know, it's like how I feel every time I look at Stormzy. Do you know what I mean? For obvious reasons. We all know why. City win versus Liverpool and Arsenal win versus City. Arsenal win the league. Interesting prediction. Arsenal back to wanting Madrid after beating Newcastle.
Funny enough, I think we'd actually play better against Madrid than we would against Porto. Yeah, because at least they'd open the game a bit more. I'm not saying beat round. Don't you think? If we go, look, we played Liverpool and we were fantastic. We played better against Liverpool.
Yeah, but in Europe it's different, man.
I think there's an arrogance. We we have an arrogance as Arsenal fans thinking, oh yeah, it's, we play Madrid, we're going to play better. When we went to Porto, let's keep it 100. We shat the bed. Players couldn't control the ball. Saliba lost his head. Like, Saliba wasn't the same cool, composed defender. Odegaard couldn't trap a ball. Jorginho even came on, couldn't find passes. It wasn't necessarily it wasn't because we're not as good as Porto. We're far superior. But the reality is when we went over to that tough away ground, we couldn't hack it. We literally shat the bed. So for me, the players need a bit more experience in that competition, and also for the more experienced heads to come back into the squad to guide the younger players, because you haven't got the likes of Thomas Partey, Jesus, Zinchenko, who've got European pedigree, played in the Champions League, who can guide those younger players. We had 11 players on that pitch. Only one had European competition, European experience at Champions League football, and that was Kai Havertz.
We've been to the Bernabeu and we've won. Let's not forget that. We've been to the Bernabeu. I know it was a long time ago, but we have won at the Bernabeu before. Like,
yeah, but bro, the thing is, with Real Madrid, yeah, just with Real Madrid quickly, because I've seen people asking for Real Madrid. Bro, do you realize that Real Madrid are not just going to come out and play football? They know how to do the shithousery stuff as well, bro.
They know how to defend.
They do know how to defend, but equally, I don't see Real Madrid with their talent. That means with respect to Arsenal, they're not going to look at Arsenal and go, we better sit back, guys. They're not going to sit. They're not. I'm not saying they're going to play gun ho and play with like 11 men in attack, but they're also that's an interesting game. Yeah, I mean, look, I kind of want to see Arsenal go up against a European big boy that we know can attack and play. Because as a neutral, it's going to be an entertaining game. It's going to be a game where both teams are attacking, both teams can score. I don't like this super chat though from Guna Dam. He says, if we can win the league, can we do it on game 37? If you guys were to beat us at Old Trafford and win the league, I don't know if I can go live.
Come on. You don't like it.
Hey, we're running it back to
great rivals. Stop City, Liverpool. Ain't that something?
Yeah. I mean, if anyone can stop you, if you guys stop the 4P and Liverpool matching our titles, I can take that. Again, I'm so weirded out.
In the moment, though, you would be fuming.
Yeah and no. Like, I look at it this way. I tend to try and look at the bigger picture all the time. Not Ten Hag's bigger picture, because I don't know what the fuck that man's drawing. But my bigger picture is I don't understand these Man United fans who are like, I can't handle Arsenal fans celebrating. I'm like, Guna's celebrating and being shameless and irritating versus records being set potentially that will never match. I just can't fathom. I cannot fathom the insecurity and weakness in that. Arsenal have arrived. Come on, you Gunners. Terry, I'm coming to the Champions League game. Can I meet with you? I probably won't be about, mate. I'll be working that day. I mean, let me know where your whereabouts are. Maybe we can hook up.
Gary looking for hookups. That's a clip. Gary looking for hookups. That's a clip.
Listen, well, I don't care what way people want to have their pickle tickled. It's not my way. It's up to you, man. Remember, if you act weird, that's weirdness. I'm just saying, we can meet up, we can hook up, we can have a cup of coffee. Well, I don't drink coffee, I drink tea. But there, I'm going to move on.
Builder's tea, Builder's tea. Do sugars?
No, I don't put sugar in my tea. That's a Philistine. You Philistine. But I don't drink coffee. I actually tried. I read something once. If you force yourself to eat or drink something 20 times, your body will like it. I bought a really good coffee machine. I drank 2 cups of coffee a day for 3 months. Still tasted like shit. Like, I've had nice coffees. Do you know the weirdest bit though? I love the smell of coffee and I like things like coffee sweets. I just can't drink it. So that's strange.
That coffee's terrible.
That is proper weird, you know. It's proper weird. And we've got a couple of other guys on it. We've got, how do I pronounce your name?
Eseyas.
Eseyas, there we go. Yeah, the way your name is spelled, that it's actually sounds a lot easier than it reads. What are you here to say, bro?
Well, yeah, I just want to say to all the Arsenal fans here, what have you noticed the last 4 games is there's a change of back 4, which makes our team play tick faster. When you look at Zinchenko, he drifts into that midfield and he kind of slows it down. But what you're seeing right now is instead of Kivior going into the field, you got Ben White a couple of games where he was coming inside. But now Odegaard that's dropping next to the last 2 games was Odegaard dropping next to Rice instead of one of our left backs or right backs dropping into the center, right? So that makes our game faster. And this season, what I've seen is our team. We have how many different 18 different players that have scored in the Premier League. So this last couple of years, where's the goals coming from? But we're seeing different weapons from corners, set pieces, counter attacks, nice tiki-taka plays. So, and I hear you say Real Madrid and stuff, but don't forget that the Gunners actually in 2006 on their way to the Champions League final, they played the Galacticos when they were at their prime, I would say. So when you look at those cup games, it's not about how strong or how resilient your team is. It's how much are you willing to work hard, and that's the reason that we saw Arsenal lose the points in Porto. Porto.
I hear you, bro. Great points. Deo is here with us as well. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Very well, very well. What are you here to say tonight?
I mean, just the same thing. Everybody said what I wanted to say, really and truly. But what I just want to say, like, as regards to like the Madrid thing and talking about tournaments are different from the league. The consistency in the league is totally different from when you go to a tournament. Like, you can go to. I mean, if Madrid has a bad day against Arsenal, we kill them. If they have a bad day, we don't have. Look, if Madrid has a bad day,
and you have a good day,
and we have a good day, we kill them. So it can happen. They could have a bad day. We could have a bad day. In fact, we can play our best, and then they just go up one level and they beat us, or they make a silly mistake. We capitalize on it. So the point is, when it comes to like the Champions League, I rate it, but I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. And then when you go away to play in other stadiums, I don't know if you've traveled to other stadiums and actually been in the pitch to actually watch a team that you support play. It is scary. It is scary. Like going away from home to like out of the country as well. Everybody's speaking a different language. You're getting accustomed to the weather. There's pollen in the air. Like all of these things you have to factor in.
Cussing at you in foreign languages.
Yes, like it's crazy. I'm telling you, like it is scary. It is really, really scary. So like, you know, when it comes to UCL, great. But Arsenal going forward, I mean, I'm happy with what we are doing right now. We talked about where are the goals coming from. We're sharing the goals. Hopefully in the summer we go find a number 9, a good number 9. If there's anyone in the market available, great. If there's none, what we're doing right now is working. We scored more goals this season than last season, and people are complaining about goals. Like, what else do we want from Arteta? He scored more goals this season without a number 9 than last season when we had everybody free flowing and scoring, like, you know. So we're doing good. I think we just need to keep our heads down, you know, one game at a time. Hopefully, Man City, they look a little vulnerable right now. If they can just stop Liverpool for us when they meet Liverpool, that'll be good. I just need Man City to beat Liverpool. We'll take care of Man City at the Etihad. In fact, clip this. We will beat Man City at the Etihad 2-1. I predict it 2-1 at the Etihad.
I mean, look,
that's my prediction.
Listen, I like the confidence. I like the confidence because why not? Why not be confident? Look, I want to thank everybody that has tuned in to the show tonight. It's obviously very, very late. I've got a childminder looking after the kids.
Really quick, Terry. Really quick.
Yes.
My prediction after the City game, 2-0 Arsenal.
Oh my God. Bro, it's a month from now, man. It's a month away. What are we doing?
Arsenal.
You don't know what injuries there
What
are.
are we doing
what are you?
I'm blaming you for setting Matt off there. I really, really am.
That's
Guys, I want to thank everybody that has tuned in. I really do need to go. Back tomorrow with more content for you. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon.